And we're live. Back in the house.
Boop, 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 boop,
Once
boop.
again, it is the Effin' Podcast. I am your host this evening. I am B-Dub.
Hassan, a.k.a. Alpha Dog, Roof, Roof.
It is just us two in the building for tonight's show. Hopefully Branson will be joining us later. Mm-hmm. Shout out to Kelly Joe.
Kelly.
Birthday party tomorrow, I guess.
Yes.
Yeah, shout out to Buddha.
Buddha.
Show up or not. He's like a specter.
Yeah.
Yeah, if we see him, we'll scream. Gonna give our usual shout outs to start the show. Give a shout out to Eighth and Fancy for all of your adult beverage, snacks, and needs. Also gonna give a shout out to Dank Drinks for having some of the dankest of drinks. Also, shout out to Crimey Dealers.
Crimey.
Yes, and shout out to the local plug. Please eat responsibly. Mm-hmm. Okay, we get the show off and popping because it's been a pretty basic week. I don't think there's anything relevant personally that's happened in Raleigh since like Dreamville or anything.
Oh, yeah, if you talking about locally?
Locally. Sometimes
outside of that incident at the Star Bar where that rapper came into town.
Oh yeah, somebody got shot. A rapper. OMPZ.
Oh yeah, I haven't heard of him, but
I'm not familiar with his music, but he got shot at this week in Raleigh, unfortunately, and that's not good.
At the Star Bar, and they pulled their liquor license because of that incident.
The liquor license was pulled at the Star Bar due to this incident and a couple of other incidents that have been going on there. So
this was just ice on the cake.
Yeah. That's not a place I generally go to unless
I've never been there.
No, I've been there a few times.
I've never been there.
I will go to the Star Bar if there's an event that somebody I know is promoting, and because I know the type of crowd they bring out there. But that's not a place I generally go to hang.
Right.
With the YNs.
YNs be out there.
Yeah, because that's been coming up lately this week because I saw Markeith Morris? Mm-hmm. Or I always get them mixed up, him and his brother, but one of the Morris twins was on ESPN this week, and he used the term on First Take of YNs, which I guess you could say now is officially going mainstream. And it's kind of sparked a little bit of a discussion because a lot of people feel it's an inappropriate term to be using, especially on a Disney channel. And
I mean, why? He just said YN.
Well, you know what YN
we know what the acronym means, but it's the safe terminology. I mean,
but there's a deeper implication of that term going mainstream, and it's not the issue of us using it.
Of course, we already know anytime black, brown, or other creates a name, a saying that goes viral, we know our white brethrens steals it and make it racially, some type of racial tension with the wording. You feel what I'm saying? It gives them like an open door to, say what they want to say anyway out loud. You feel what I'm saying? So, but we know as the ones that's in the culture, you know what I'm saying? That's the lingo.
Yeah, I understand what the lingo and the term is, but again, the issue is not so much us, but it leaving the culture and then being used against us by people not a part of our culture, because now as the term gets popular, I'm seeing some, known white suspected supremacists using the term on YouTube and Twitter, in their tweets, in their videos, and now because the term is being mainstream, I think they're trying to normalize it.
Of course, you know they're gonna see. That's what it's like. The same thing when they took the word woke.
Oh yeah,
we knew what woke was. It was just a friendly terminology amongst pay attention. You feel what I'm saying? And anytime something goes viral, be popular, and is attached to other than white, they're gonna use it in a racial terminology. So it doesn't matter whether it's YN. We saw woke. Who would think? You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So it doesn't matter what we say. If it's catchy and it's something that they can use for racial coverage, they can use it for cover, and use it, you basically call you what they really want to say, that's what they're gonna do. So I mean, it doesn't matter. Woke is the safest word that you could possibly say, and they made it racial.
They co-opted the term woke.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So it doesn't matter what we say. If anything that we create is catchy, they're gonna steal and they make it racial.
Yeah. I want to know what happened to using the term young blood.
That's super old. It
means the same thing.
Right, but that's like somebody's a granddaddy, you know what I'm saying?
It was cool when CeeLo rapped about it on Cell Therapy.
That's our age group.
Yeah.
Actually mine's, you feel what I'm saying? Yeah. So, we in the days of,
there was a whole ass rap group in the early 2000s.
I got you, but when you got names like your boy out of Atlanta, what's his name? Young
What, Young Thug?
Yeah, when you got cats like that, you know what I'm saying? That's where the whole terminology came from. YSL, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. So they branching off of that, creating terminology off of that. So, I mean, again, we can say some basic ass shit. If it goes viral, they're going to find a way to make it racially termed. I mean, so it doesn't matter. They're going to use whatever we use that's catchy that other races want to use, which we don't have a problem using because, it's not saying, see, it's the difference. See, all right, I'm getting older, so I don't, if I use the N-word, it's not as an endearment. Mm-hmm. Now, I would be first to say 20 years ago, right? Yes, it would have. You feel what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. But I'm a lot much older, and I'm looking at what we're discussing here, how they using that in racially form, especially over the internet and stuff like that. Yeah. So subconsciously, you know what I'm saying? I'm just like, if I say it, and it doesn't matter what nationality that you are. If I use that terminology towards you, it's not an endearment. You know what I'm saying? It's just telling you how stupid you are. That's all.
Oh, okay. So you don't use the N-word as a term of endearment.
No, I'm using it as you dumb.
Oh. I use it for all types of things. It's a noun, an adjective, a verb. Something crazy happens, you can't help but say nigga.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, in that respect, yes. You know what I'm saying? But I'm not freely using it. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Now, YN, I don't have no problem with that. You know what I'm saying? Because, again, we can't sit here and police everything what's being said because they tried to do the same thing when we was their age. You feel what I'm saying? So it's kind of like being hypocritical that at one point in time you was their age and you had people trying to police what you were saying and this and the third. So who is us? So in this term, how they're using it, it's a safe. In my term, it's safe. Mm-hmm. And on top of that, you can use it as a casual phrase, and it's like, not disrespectful. Of course, it doesn't matter what we say. If it's catchy, they're going to use it in a racial form. Simple.
Yeah. So basically, any word we choose can be used as a weapon against us to describe black people.
Or other than.
Yeah, that is true, because they tried to call us all Black Lives Matter a couple of years ago. That was the big deal. Mm-hmm. Oh, Black Lives Matter.
And they follow White Lives Matter.
Yeah. White Lives Matter, all that stuff. So, yeah, I guess you're right in that sense, because whatever term we use to describe the youth will be used in vitriol against us by those that want to see us fail.
See, the only difference is when we was coming up, we didn't have the internet.
Nope.
And everything was
internal.
So now everything is magnified because of the internet, and you can reach billions of people, you know what I'm saying, all across spectrums. So information gets out a lot faster. So when you got people who has the following, they use it in whether it's a positive way or in a negative way, So right now it's money in the game right now amongst division. You feel what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. If you can spew hate, you ain't getting blackballs. There's an audience out there that's going to listen to you. So that's the reason why I was on the mindset, like, why are we sitting here getting on Kanye West? When we sit here, we got white motherfuckers on X And X is one of the most shitful holes that you can go up in and push whatever up there. You feel what I'm saying? To where why ain't nobody censoring them? Why we sitting here saying that this man? They're saying it out loud. Let him do his thing. Even though there's a reasoning for him, because me personally, I believe that he's crying out for help. You know what I'm saying? And this is his way of getting attention. So
I disagree.
I said just my opinion.
Oh, okay.
I mean, I could be wrong, but but the reason why, again, let me stay on track. The reason why I brought up Kanye West is if we got white folks out here doing it, they're why are we censoring him? Now, get it. I understand wrong is wrong. So, but again, I'm not gonna be the PC police because again, we got a convicted felon that's the president.
Mm-hmm. Cool. Well, I feel you on that. All right. So what I wanted to discuss also after that was to kind of move into discussing Wallow, because Wallow's been in the news for a couple things in the past week.
Yeah.
First, I wanted to discuss the video of him recently making the internet rounds at the Credit to Cash seminar where he was giving a financial literacy course. That's what it was.
Like, really?
Apparently.
Wow.
So, yeah, Wallow decided to give some advice to the black folks there, and I have the video queued up.
Us. Oh, I'm black. Oh, black people. Nobody gives a about that. Kill that shit. Either you got a good business or you don't. All that shit. Nobody want to hear that shit. That's a hustle. Support me because I got a black business. Is your restaurant clean? Is the food good? Do you got consistent cooks? Is the material good? Stop doing that. Oh, you support the white people. No, I support consistency, baby. Yeah. About what color you is. I'm gonna spend my money. That paper, I'm gonna spend them millions where the I want to spend it at. Grab his Porsche, Ferrari, Lamborghini. I'm gonna do what I want to do while I'm here. But I'm gonna tell you one thing: I ain't gonna be finessed off some black shit. But one thing about it: 70% of you not going to make it. I'm not no fucking fake ass motivational speaker that talk this. I'm the number one. You know why? Y'all seen me come out of the penitentiary. I make millions, and I make millionaires, baby. You understand me? I come from the ghetto.
And that was Wallow.
That is one of the most ignorant ass shit. Like, now, all right. When I first saw this, right, of course it pissed me the fuck off because it's always that one motherfucker. You feel what I'm saying? That's doing more than you should be doing. You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You gone viral on Club Shay Shay, which it helps pushing your brand, even though your brand is doing this thing and this and the third, and you making money. And I amend any brother who comes out and they out here getting money, because I was once upon a time in that situation, and I have two businesses, so I'm for that. But this is where I had to veer off for what the fuck he's talking about, because number one, he's talking like, now I'm going to leave space and grace that he probably came across some restaurants that he probably describing. All right, so I'm going to say that, but you're making it seem like that every black restaurant is nasty or understaffed, or there might be some mishaps, some mistakes happen. You know what I'm saying? Because that can happen in any nationality.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
True.
So that part where he's saying being finessed because I'm black, that pissed me off right there. Nigga, did somebody help you get where you at? When you came out of prison, right? Did somebody help you get to where you at? You had an opportunity. So for you to sit here, and if you were a motivational speaker and them people paid you money to hear that bullshit, I hope you gave them their motherfucking money back. Let me just say that. So let me get back to what I was saying. Number two, we do know that black businesses do not be fully funded when they start open. They don't when they open. You know what I'm saying? Like compared to white business owners, hell, even Hispanic, Latino, because they got Latino banks. And you just look at some of these Mexican restaurants with all the lights and stuff, it takes over $100,000 to fill out a restaurant, especially if it's not already built in, ready to go. You feel what I'm saying? You're gonna spend upwards of $100,000 to $150,000. So with that being said, black business owners usually when they start their businesses because it's with their own money or with other people pitching in to help get their brand off. Now, mistakes will happen. So if you are a millionaire, a black millionaire, right? And if you did came across that situation, right? Why wouldn't you support it? Why wouldn't you give them constructive information to help better their brand? And hell, if you see that they have a brand that can really blow, they just need some. Because 9 times out of 10, you just need money to fill it out to make it look like how it's supposed to. You feel what I'm saying? Why wouldn't you be that person to get that money? You know what I'm saying? Hell, even if you're just your influence, you don't necessarily get money. Your influence based off of your shows and stuff like that, you can get spotlight of this business to where they can blow and make the money themselves, so then they can be able to fit it out perfectly how it's supposed to. Now, I'm also going to say this. I'm not saying support any business that comes out with some bullshit or who cannot correct a mistake. You know what I'm saying? None of that shit. I'm not saying that. I'm talking about for the ones that's out here really have a great idea, because most of us, black and brown, don't go to business school to learn this. You feel what I'm saying? Most of us don't have other entrepreneurs in our families. You feel what I'm saying? So some of us are first, if not second generation business owners. So with that being said, it's a trial and error learning how you do your business. I know it was with me. I have 2 businesses. McNeil's Touch Mobile Detailing, created March 20th, 2009 after me being out of prison for only 2 years. I worked 1 year and I created that business. And it's been almost 20 years now. Alpha Dog's the same way. So I just didn't like his take on how he's talking. You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah. I had an issue with, number one, I feel like any other ethnic group would never tell you not to support
your own.
Like I said, a Jewish person will never tell you not to support Jewish business. It don't matter what the circumstances are.
You never hear that shit.
And I think it's a common sense thing where if you go into any business of any color and the business isn't good, I'd never recommend you spending money with them. But the other issue I have is the amount of vitriol, kind of the tone.
How you going at your own?
Yeah, I'm never the tone police because I believe in being direct and straightforward. Right. But one thing I have been noticing between Wallow and other people, Obama, I've even seen it with Roland Martin during the elections. And sometimes when they address black people, they have a very condescending tone in their voice, just like Wallow did, where he was calling it black shit. I don't give a fuck. So he had to emphasize the fuck.
So we have 3 different versions. We got one person.
Tell Pookie and Ray Ray.
Right. Yeah, one was subtle.
He never told white people, tell Cletus. And you tell Cletus and your cousin Cletus to go vote. He just, Pookie and Ray Ray. Roland Martin was, you fools, you idiots. We had to hear that the whole election if we weren't riding dead on with the Democrats. So there's this tone a lot of niggas who get money take when they address other black people in a very condescending manner. And you can see it by the word choice and the energy they have versus when they address a room full of white people or a mixed crowd.
Okay.
There's a less hostile edge or tone to it with the word choice and the vitriol and the emotion in it. So
I can see your point, but yeah, those other folks that you are talking about, right?
Yeah.
You don't have to push them to do certain things. When they know something is bigger than them, they know just to lock in. When it comes to us, it's like we tend to look at ourselves and not worrying about that there's a bigger picture than you. And when you are being selfish to where it's affecting the masses, you feel what I'm saying? Because remember, this generation is different. And I'm going to say how it's different. When we came up, we had little to no choices. You better do that shit. You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Now, you have a choice. And most of them, depending on their upbringing and whatever, they have vitriol amongst that, so they chose to do the opposite, regardless. Whether they know for a fact it will save their damn life, they're gonna do the opposite because of whatever the case may be. So you can't have it both ways when you want to give them the option to whatever free will. You feel what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Some of them you have to give them subtle motivation to why.
But is that motivation?
In a sense, yes. And most people. So for you, it's not, because for you and for people like myself, it's not because we are intelligent enough to know this. We're talking about people who doesn't either have the education or the insight on reason why this is bigger than you. So sometimes you have to break that shit down to the simplest form to where, hey, I get, listen, this is what, follow me out. So like I said, for us, we don't need to have that talk. We know what time it is. Because again, we have education background / street hustle to mix with it to where we got it. For others, that's not in that frame. You can't talk to them with some high-end words.
I get what you're saying, but my thing is this: you can't save everybody.
That's true.
You know, and I feel like the people that are interested are going to take the information and absorb it. And the people that aren't interested are the ones we got to go out our way and cater and the information to, but they're still not interested because they're just not interested in the information at all.
And again, I get what you're saying, but there are some that you can talk like that and they get
motivated.
Oh shit, I know what that's what that nigga talking about. Oh, okay, let me go ahead out here and do that. You feel, it's some people.
I mean, I get it.
It's some people that they hear that and they, I get it. But for us, it's different because we're educated. You feel what I'm saying? So we know what time it is. So when we hear that, I didn't take no offense of, because he ain't talking to me. I'm smart. I know what time it is. He talking about the motherfuckers that's not on top of their game when it comes fluent with that shit. You know what I'm saying? So if you're not fluent in politics, and you have to dumb it down, let's call it like it is. Mm-hmm. You got to dumb it down.
Yeah. But hell, that's the thing. If you got to dumb it down, then let them drown. Hey, that
guess what? But guess what?
Yeah.
Trump he dumbed it down for him.
Yeah. Look at how he's manipulated.
Exactly. He dumbed it down so much. He got niggas going in different directions. It's ridiculous. Yeah, I talked to a Trump supporter today. You feel what I'm saying?
Okay, we got a comment in the chat from, I think it says, you die, and it says, bro, show me your degree if you're educated. Well, I don't know if you're speaking to Hassan, but I have my BA in English from North Carolina Central, graduated December 15, 2003. So I do have my degree in English.
And I have a degree in business because, like I said, I create two businesses from scratch. One of them is almost 20 years old, so... Yeah. That's my school of hard knocks.
Yeah, well,
then one way you're gonna learn in business, either you go to school or you get out here in the trenches and you learn it firsthand.
Yeah.
Either way, both of them is gonna cost you some goddamn money. How about that?
That is true. Yeah. Cool. But also, Wallow did talk. I want to give props to Wallow too. I don't want to just sit here and criticize him. He did take time to save a man who was threatening to commit suicide. Oh wait, I shouldn't say that word. Who's threatening to unalive himself on a bridge in Philly. And I saw the video making rounds on the internet.
Right.
Yeah, and basically it just shows the video of Wallow standing on the bridge, talking to a man who had, I guess, caused a car accident on the bridge, and he decided he was going to end it all. And Wallow had saw this person and the huge police presence on the bridge and decided to pull over, get out on the bridge, and talk to the man. And he
talked him down.
Yeah, and apparently, yeah. So this man was depressed over the recent passing of his mother and his niece. And it looks like Wallow was able to FaceTime a few of the man's relatives. So they all got together and talked the man down on the bridge. And I want to give Wallow props because some people are heroes. Because if it's on a bridge,
is he a hero or he an opportunist?
it could be both. But I mean, he didn't do it with the intention of being seen. So
He knew he was going to be seen. If it's already police present out there,
yeah,
you know what I'm saying? It's automatically, and you are a famous person. So, and with today's technology, it's cameras every fucking where, whether you got it by the phone or whether the government got them on you. So, with that being said, and you are in the wide world of the internet, you take your black ass out there and engage in that situation, you're going to go viral.
yeah.
Now, you just went viral for talking bullshit, right? So now here you are.
Well, this was before the
So this
summit.
happened before the summit.
So this happened a couple days before the summit.
Okay, well, I can't even listen. So you did a good deed and turned around and smashed it with it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. But I mean, he
Well, you did a good thing.
Yeah.
But I just feel like that was an opportunity. It's just almost like
I see what you're saying, where
it's
it's an
opportunity.
opportunity or
yeah,
an opportunist.
Yeah, you just saw that shit. Like, yeah,
I'm gonna
pop.
say this: it was on a bridge, and
Yeah.
I'm scared of height.
I feel
so Wallow did something I
That you
damn
wouldn't
sure
do.
wouldn't do.
But how many niggas just riding on the freeway? Oh shit, what the fuck is that over there? Oh, let me get out. Oh, let me go over here and
I
save
don't know
this.
what his motivation was.
Let me go over here to save this nigga off the bridge. Like, how many niggas really gonna do that shit? Like, I mean, again, I ain't knocking him. He did it. You feel what I'm saying? And it turned out great, positive.
Yeah.
What if that shit went the opposite way?
Oh, and the dude jumped.
What?
Like, nah,
you
Wallow.
should stay the fuck in the damn car. You
Wallow,
all the way.
man, I can't believe you talked him into jumping. We would have been blaming him.
Oh my God. So word up. Hey, you did a great deed.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
No, I'm gonna give Wallow props because, like I said, I couldn't do it because it's
I
on the
wouldn't
bridge.
do it.
I'm scared
I
of
wouldn't
heights.
do it. I ain't paid to do that shit.
Well, it depends on what bridge. I'm saying if the bridge is a bridge
I don't
you would
give a
consider
damn.
jumping off to end it all, that's
I
not a
don't give
bridge I
damn.
would be
I
on.
don't give a damn. It's a Hudson Bridge. I'm not going up there to say nobody ass. You feel what I'm
I
saying?
think about it if it was a freeway overpass.
No, I ain't
I'll be
doing
like,
that
come
shit.
on, bro, you
If
gonna
I
mess up
see-
somebody's
If
car.
I see police presence out there, fire, I ain't going out there. They pay to do that shit. Look, the last time I did some shit like that, this is funny as hell. This was 1989.
Damn.
Listen, I'm gonna tell you how real this shit was. I'm in Newark, New Jersey. Now, I like this girl that was next door to me and shit, right? Now, I've never owned a pet before. Now, they had a German Shepherd and a cat. So the fucking cat, the dog chased the cat up the fucking tree. Now, my silly ass want to go climb this goddamn tree and shit.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? As I'm climbing the tree, I just have to look down. I was like, damn, look how high your ass. Look, I stayed on the third floor.
Uh-huh.
I can look clean through my aunt's room into the fucking hallway. That's how tall I was. And I was probably like 10 feet from the car that was right up under me and shit. Long story short, I took my ass up that motherfucker trying to save this goddamn cat, not knowing that cat would eventually brought its ass back down there. Just like how I got up, it would have brought his ass back down. Matter of fact, that motherfucking tree limb broke and my black ass hit that goddamn ground. Look, look.
Yeah.
I ain't saving nobody.
Oh, yeah.
That's
Don't say
I
that.
ain't saving nobody. But just the fact that he's like, oh yeah, let me get out here and go talk this nigga down. You know what I'm saying? It just ring opportunist. That's all.
Okay, cool. Well, yeah, I'm still going to give a shout out
Yeah,
to
give you
Wallow
prop. You got
because
your prop.
whether he did it for press or
Yeah.
genuine care, he was still on the bridge.
But then you follow up this saying some fuck nigga shit.
Yeah, but he's better than me because I ain't talking nobody off a bridge unless it's through a phone.
I ain't doing that.
I'm going to be on the phone.
Right.
Like, it's not worth it.
You better make
If
sure.
somebody called me from the Maryland Bay Bridge, I'll be like, yo, I can't even get anywhere near that bridge and talk to you. You got to be a couple miles away and talk. I'll talk to you through a drone or something. But yeah.
This guy in chat, you guys thugging.
Yeah.
He funny.
Nah. Trolls. That means
We
we're
love
getting
you.
popular.
I love you.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, let's keep it moving because I wanted to cover our main topic because Drake is back in the news with an update
Drake.
on the Kendrick Lamar
Drake?
UMG lawsuit. Yes. So Drake is now claiming Kendrick Lamar's Super Bowl performance was orchestrated to assassinate his character. Yeah. So Drake is back at it again with some new information. So both Drake's legal team
Crying.
are trying to say that the lyrics used on Not Like Us were purposely edited for the Super Bowl. In the song, they took the words that implied Drake was a PDF file, were purposely removed. And so they were saying because they were removed on the Super Bowl, that's proof that Kendrick Lamar and UMG
Oh my God, Universals.
knew this was damaging
Drake.
and hurting to his character.
Drake.
So
You hurting your character by
Yeah.
keep this damn lawsuit going on. You sound like Snowflake. You sound like that's the white side of you speaking out because you ain't taking this L lightly. You feel what I'm saying? Like, and you are inflaming the L even more because you're taking this man to court that you're not even gonna win. And let's walk down this aisle. Let's just say you do win on all accounts for some crazy reason, right? What is it going to prove? Is it going to change all the billions of people minds who say A minor? No, it's not going to change. It's set in stone, nigga. You just keeping this damn fire alive, and it's just showing how weak you are.
Okay, now Drake is saying the lawsuit is not about Kendrick Lamar, but it's aimed at the music companies that decided to publish, promote, exploit, and monetize allegations that it understood were not only false but dangerous. So now Drake's trying to say this isn't about the beef. This is about a bigger play of record labels purposely distorting the images of their artists.
Okay, well, again, it's the same machine that helped you get you where you are. So now you're turning on it. And you know what's even more crazy? You still got to do business with them. You still got to do business with them. If you ever call yourself wanting to be an entertainer for here on out, you are selling yourself out. So now, they're like, why am I fucking do business with you? I don't give a damn how hot you is. You're going to fuck around, they're going to blackball your ass.
Yeah, so Drake is also saying that because of this diss, it's put his family and his life at stake as he's continuing to receive threats from random people.
Right.
He's also saying that...
I believe that. That's probably true. I believe that.
Yeah, he's also saying that UMG intentionally sought to turn Drake into a pariah and a target for harassment. So they're saying by promoting Not Like Us, they're purposely targeting Drake for
that
harassment.
That wouldn't make any sense because if he wrote it and it was a banger... you know, and people wanted to hear it all over the world. You feel what I'm saying? I mean, you can't listen. You listen. You have to take this L gracefully, but you're not taking it very well. Obviously, we see this shit. So, like I said, even if somehow you expose whatever conspiracy theory that you and your team believe that's happened, what is it going to prove? You know what it's going to prove? It's going to prove that you a sucker. It's going to prove what Kendrick been saying the whole entire time, where the culture is ready to get your ass up out of here. You feel me? So, and again, you're still going to be an entertainer. So while you telling on the same people that you got to go in front of and do business with, like, I don't understand that. It's like you cutting off the hand that is feeding you. But, you know, I digress.
Yeah, they are. And UMG is not taking it. I don't know if you read that statement that UMG released after all these findings were made public, but they released a little PSA, I guess, towards Drake, and it says they're calling the lawsuit frivolous and reckless. They're saying Drake, unquestionably one of the world's most accomplished artists and with whom we've enjoyed a 16-year successful relationship, is being misled by his legal representatives into taking one absurd legal step after another. This is UMG saying this. It's shameful that these foolish and frivolous legal theatrics continue, and they are reputationally and financially costly to Drake and have no chance of success. And it looks like a federal judge...
Which they're saying you're going to end up getting blackballed.
Yeah. And it looks like Drake will expose the evidence of UMG's misconduct, and UMG will be held accountable according to Drake's attorneys. But yeah, it sounds like UMG is throwing some shade at Drake. Like, do you really want to know the truth?
No, what they saying is, and see, listen.
Yes.
From Mike to Prince to Diddy to Angie Stone, anybody who speaks up or has power over only their own shit but other people's shit, you know, they're somehow unalive.
What are you saying?
Or
something?
illegal. In other words, when you are going against that machine and they want to put you back in your place,
yeah,
they're going to put you back in your place. They're going to sabotage your image. And once they sabotage your image and have the people that was cheering for you turn against you, then they're going to do whatever it is they're going to get from your ass and get it back. That's all it's showing you. And they just telling him up front.
So you're basically saying there's going to be a big major Drake scandal this year?
Oh,
a conspiracy?
You better believe it, bro. I'm just saying. It's just like, again, you can't go against them white folks who making them. You fucking with their business model. When you fucking with their bottom line, their money. Oh, they gonna get your ass up out of here.
Yeah, this is going to be interesting to see. I'm curious to know what other information they find out, but I know the first thing they're going to do is expose any dirt they have on Drake.
Yeah, any dirt they have on him, it's going to come out.
I don't understand why Drake is doing this. He would have been much better. You know what? If Drake did what Cole did and apologized, would that be worse?
Yeah, because you did a bitch move. You jumped out here like you the big dog and shit. You already got smacked down in the battle and shit. Now you taking on another big ass fight that's way out of your fucking league. They about to bitch smash your ass again. It's like, how can I look at you again? Yeah. So now your music has to be solely geared to women, and young YNs in the pop culture and shit like that. Because any real ass, you know, MC. YN or, you know what I'm saying, old N, they ain't trying to hit. They can't look at you like that.
Yeah.
You funny style, which they already. So you work your image out of the funny style and you just get all the way to the top of the food chain just to put it right back where you worked so hard for the last 16 years to get it up out of the damn gutter.
This is going to be a very interesting find. Yeah, and I definitely think Drake is going to catch.
He's going to bite off more than he can chew. That's what's going to happen.
Yeah, I definitely think he's going to bite off more than he's going to chew. But
why some shit going to come out on his ass?
Yeah. I want to know. I'm kind of curious to know what type of stuff they're going to pull.
Look, they done gave it. Look, they said that loud and clear. All right, now, fuck around. We're going. Yeah. You know we got some dirt on you, nigga. You know we got some dirt on you.
Yeah, they let that slip out on purpose.
Right.
They wanted the general public to know.
Right.
Hey, Drake about the FAFO.
Right, and this is what I keep saying, man. When you get out of pocket and they got some dirt on you, they going to blow your shit up. That's what happened with fucking Diddy. Why? Because he wanted to buy Ciroc. Then he tried to take their ass to court, talking about they races and shit. And then he had to double down on that shit. And look what happened. Now he's going to trial next month. Like, come on. That shit, though, Bill Cosby the same way. He was about to buy NBC and shit. Motherfucking crackers didn't like that shit. They let some shit out that happened over 40, 50 years ago. And look what they just destroyed his image. Made him weak to where he can't do shit. Mike was the only one that survived that shit, but they got rid of his ass because they set his ass up where they used that doctor to kill Propofol and kill his ass. He's the only one that survived his shit until they killed his ass with that damn drug and shit.
Yeah. So yeah, we'll be watching Drake and seeing how this one develops because
history, dog.
History.
If you look at since music industry has been created, how do they control their artists? They control their artists through money, drugs, and whatever dirt they had on them.
Yeah. So what they're gonna do is figure out what Drake's vices are and use it to exploit him. So I'm gonna be eager to see how that's gonna develop. Drake, I hope you have all of your vices in check, because somehow, some way, they'll probably use that against you.
Facts.
Yeah, but yeah, we're gonna keep it moving. You know what? I'm going to switch it up because now that you brought up all the conspiracy theories, I wanted to discuss Corey Holcomb. Corey Holcomb has been in the news for...
he's always in the news.
Yeah, he's always in the news for a few things.
I fuck with Corey. He real.
Yeah. Corey is definitely one of my favorite comedians.
Yeah, he stand on business.
Corey's staying beef, though. But
is it really beef or just niggas got something to say? He's speaking on his platform, and niggas got something to say about what he's talking about or what somebody's asking him. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So... is it beef on his behalf, or it just niggas just they feel it some type of way because he might be talking to them?
Yeah.
Even though the message is for people who is in that realm that he's talking about.
Okay, so yeah, what I wanted to do was play the video. So basically, let me give you a little backstory. There was some back and forth between Joe Budden podcast and Corey Holcomb responded. I'm going to set that up like that. It was basically a discussion in regards to an interview Corey did on the Cam Newton podcast, I believe Funky Fridays.
Mm-hmm. That was it?
Yeah, and in that podcast, Corey mentioned Will Smith being of Backdooria Nation, which is Corey's term for... you figure it out. But you can figure it out. But basically... that was kind of the premise. Joe Budden's podcast got a hold, I guess, of the video a couple weeks later and decided to give their response on it, and that's where this clip begins. I'm going to cue it up now.
There's a thing. Old people don't give a I don't think that old people stigma applies to Corey Holcomb. And that don't mean I'm selective.
You feel the same way about Patti LaBelle when she out of Luther?
To Imani's
Do you feel the same way about Patti LaBelle when it came to Luther?
I didn't know that it was an uproar. I learned that here with y'all. I didn't see nothing wrong. Y'all taught me.
He stood down on that point when he found out that. Yeah, that's true. He stood down on that point once he realized the dynamics. I'm looking at Terrence Howard do something very similar.
All of that.
The Diddy shit.
All of that. To me, how is that similar?
Another example of Diddy didn't do him. True. Even if I believe everything Terrence Howard said, and I do, he said Diddy might have tried to hit.
It's an assumption.
Wait. What?
It's his assumption of what he think Diddy was planning to do with him. Nothing ever happened.
It is. They are both.
The same way Corey is assuming to be blackballed in the business because of whatever.
Terrence Howard.
No, we're not playing.
I don't think it's going to. Let me land. I don't think it's so uncommon for somebody to be in an interview and say, that tracks. This was my experience when I went over this. I don't think that's the same as Corey Holcomb saying, I'm not getting gigs.
Here's why it doesn't track.
Wait, can I ask a question? Isn't this the same thing as what Cat Williams said in that interview with in Club Shay Shay?
Yeah. What is the difference?
There's no difference, and everybody celebrated him for that.
Yeah, so that was the first clip from Joe Budden's podcast, basically discussing Corey Holcomb's critique of Will Smith on Cam Newton's podcast. So Corey decided to shoot back on Tuesday with his response on the 5150 show. I got that queued up.
Like Joe Budden's, he mentioned about that Cam Newton thing when I was on Cam Newton, and I said, or I alluded to Will Smith on the Backdooria side of the game.
Yeah.
Joe Budden's feels like I was telling when I mentioned Will Smith on the Backdooria side of the game.
Like telling his business?
Like he said, that's snitching. If a man gets penetrated by a man or is penetrated by a man and I say something about that business, I don't feel like that's snitching. Any perverted acts that go on in the community, I feel like, once that is put out there as it would be snitching if I was to say, this is how I know.
We all move here to try to make it. Some of us already were here. We were fooled to believe if you work hard and you are talented that you have a shot at making it. And I think that normal heterosexual men have a right to be publicly outraged if you have to be that way to make it. That is not fair. That is not good business. That is not just. If you have to be gay or get it in the booty or whatever you call it to go to another level, why is it not publicly stated? when people operate in secrecy, it's to maintain control of something that is corrupted. I have a right to speak on anything that is corrupted by unjust, and I won't even say ungodly because I don't know what everybody believes in. But if that's the factor, just say it. Don't ain't talented enough.
Said what? Button admitted to being Backdoria?
I don't know.
April M says that. Listen, that's what I want to ask these people. Do I have to be at war with you to ask you, have you ever been penetrated or penetrated a man in any way? Do I have to be at war with you to ask that? Well, because I want to ask the brother Joe Buttons that. I want to ask a lot of people that, because we're getting to the point in society, we can't keep hiding this. There's a lot of people who would have no idea about Joe Buttons that way.
And that was Corey giving his response to what Joe Budden's podcast had to say. And Corey offered to have a debate with the Joe Budden's podcast, which I hope they do accept.
Oh, they do.
Yeah, because I want to see that.
He ain't gonna do it though.
Why do you think they won't do it?
Corey will destroy him. Because the simple fact is, Button said something real key. He said he was once thinking like how Corey was. Mm-hmm. He said up there on the clip, he said, y'all taught me that. So when he first started a podcast with them, with his rest of the crew, he was like Corey. And they had to check him. Mm-hmm. And for him to coexist amongst them, he had to change his view on that. And if he had engaged in that behavior pattern and stuff like that, then that's another term. But he said it out of his mouth. He said, y'all taught me that. So that means he was thinking like Corey or portraying that like how Corey was thinking until he got around his cast members and they changed his view.
So you're saying they influenced him to be more accepting of gays or to practice?
Probably both.
Both.
Probably both. If you can take, it's nothing more rewarding if you can take a masculine man and change his viewpoint to your viewpoint to where it's not deemed quote unquote acceptable. You feel what I'm saying? That's one of the ultimate most mind fuck that you can possibly do when you can change a masculine man's viewpoint into the other way. You feel what I'm saying? Yeah. So it's almost like a man dominating a woman in the bed. You feel what I'm saying? The thinking of that, and she's reciprocating because either she's engaging how you want her to, or she's saying it loudly to where she's stroking your ego and shit like that. That's how it's almost feel like that.
Yeah. So that's the thing with the entertainment industry. One thing I do see a lot of people criticize Corey about is the fact that he always is talking about this. But I always tell people, you don't live in the world of Hollywood in the entertainment industry. Right. Most of us work 9 to 5 in corporate America. Yeah, we don't have to worry about doing things like that
to get ahead,
to get
certain parts. And stuff
I've
like
never been in a position where I've had to compromise my body or even been asked to do that,
or compromise my manhood.
Yeah,
just so I can get a bigger
opportunity.
Role.
So it's a world very foreign to the majority of us who work in corporate America. So when you see, for us heterosexual men in corporate America. Because I've had gay co-workers, gay bosses, and there's never been a situation like that where they've put me in a situation where I felt like that. It was always professional.
You're a big motherfucker.
Well, yeah, that too.
And on top of that, you look like don't fuck with that motherfucker.
Yeah, well, that is true. I mean,
if you came off like you was playful and shit like that, and you probably play a little handsy with them and shit like that.
No, I don't do it.
No, I ain't saying you.
Yeah, I know what you're saying.
If you engage in some type
of behavior
like that, I can get him.
Now, Corey did mention that in the previous podcast. He said they do try it only on certain people they feel
they can get away with
it. So, yeah, sometimes it is your aura. Sometimes people try you just to try.
Yeah, it's all about how you carry yourself. 'Cause I know I give off that aura like he's mean.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah.
And that's good because if you got some bullshit with you, you know you ain't
Yeah,
gonna
exactly.
You gonna keep it moving.
Yeah, sometimes it's better to keep your head down and mind your business, and that way people kind of give you your space, leave you alone. So, yeah, but I definitely see why Corey puts this in perspective, because in his world, that type of behavior
It costs him money.
Yeah,
and
it can cost you money. It can take you to places you've never been.
Right.
If you're willing to compromise yourself. So, yeah, that struggle in Hollywood as an entertainer and guarding your booty hole, it's a big deal. And like Cat Williams, like Melissa Ford mentioned in the Joe Budden clip, you know, Cat Williams was kind of celebrated for exposing Diddy in that regards. And, you know,
I mean, is he exposing Diddy though? I mean, because again,
well, this was all before the scandal,
right?
The FBI. So,
right. What I'm saying is he really exposing Diddy? Because again, we was hearing about this shit 20 plus years ago.
Oh yeah,
I was in my early 20s. You feel what I'm saying? So these Diddy parties has been going on for decades.
Yeah,
he just one of the few most famous ones that's actually came out and talked about it, and he was actually there. You know what I'm saying? Because most of it ain't too many people that talk about Diddy parties.
Yeah. Well, the actual party, I've actually heard plenty of people talk about. I didn't know about the freak-offs.
We're talking about
the freak-offs are separate from the parties.
Right, exactly. So again, so he participated in the freak-offs.
Yeah.
That's what he's trying to say. So he's one of the few people that was part of that indulged in some of the freak-offs and was famously that can put credit on what was already been discussed for decades. That's all. It's in my opinion, it's being relitigated by cancel culture.
Yeah, so you're saying cancel culture is just trying to bring stuff up to get people canceled?
It pretty much, because the thing about it is, if something happened 20 plus years ago, and then within those decades, nobody had a problem with it, how is it that you have a problem with it? It's not even in your generation, number one. Number two, you know what I'm saying? How does it affect your life personally, either direct or indirect? And the fact that you are making stances on trying to fuck with people's livelihood is diabolical.
Yeah,
my opinion.
Yeah, so I think it's people like Corey who are speaking out against this kind of thing going on in Hollywood, where men are being forced to compromise themselves.
Their sexuality. And I also want to say this too.
Yeah.
And especially for people, and this is why I say history is very important. The liberties that you have today, in which right now they're being actually challenged in front of our faces right now, because you really don't have freedom of speech. Because if you really was been paying attention what's going on around the country, we are experiencing your due process is being taken away. If you have, it's almost acting like authoritarian type government. So let's get back to what we're saying. When we were coming up, certain things you just couldn't talk about, you just couldn't express, because it would have fucked your career up or you'd been blackballed. Now, with today's laws and stuff like that, you're able and you're protected to talk freely about certain things. So what probably happened 20 to 60 years ago, you couldn't talk like how you're talking now, because you probably wouldn't even live long enough to even then have an even issue with it about it. You feel what I'm saying? So this is where, again, history is very important. Cancel culture, you need to understand different generations, different decades. People don't have the freedom to talk freely and move freely in a quote unquote PC way. That's it.
Nah, I feel what you're saying. Yeah, so Corey is just one of those few people.
He just speaking on. He's speaking on like, look, I ain't out here. Yeah. He's like, look, I get it out the mud.
Yeah. So this is an interesting, I guess, back and forth. Now,
if it was a woman that said it, will we be pushing back on it?
If a woman said what? Which part?
That she had, in order for her to get ahead, she had to sleep with executive or movie directors.
Well, I think that's been normalized.
We know it's normalized now, but I'm just saying, if a woman before it became normalized, when a woman came out and spoke on that, we seem to find grace to give that person to understand what they're saying. And also, we also got to keep in mind too colorism, because I think in one of our next segment we talking about colorism gender and colorism as well as education plays a factor how people view a person, especially if they're talking about the same thing.
Yeah. So what I'm hoping for is for Corey, or well, more so for the Joe Budden podcast, to take that invite so we can hopefully see a good debate and see different viewpoints, especially Mark Lamont Hill, who was on the Budden podcast, because I know he and Corey have had some back and forth in the past on social media. So hopefully we'll get some good content out of it, some good discussions, and take it from there.
Yeah, when a man speak on something, we got to hear him out. So
yeah, but I definitely understand Corey's viewpoint. This is one of the few times where I understand everybody's viewpoint and where they're coming from, except Joe Budden. I don't really believe it's snitching to out somebody, because I view it like, is it outing somebody if you tell them you smashing women? I don't look at it as... Is
it snitching when somebody's stealing your motherfucking money or your opportunity and shit because you won't compromise your morality?
Yeah, that too.
You know what I'm saying? So, bottom line, he talking about his livelihood is being affected because he ain't compromising his morality.
Yeah. And I do agree. It's only shameful if you got something to hide.
Right. Yeah. Those who are the loudest is usually one that's doing something or involved.
Tell people, live your truth. You sleep better at night.
And besides, it's not like you're gonna get blackballed. You celebrate it now.
Yeah, that is true.
So if you doing what you doing, is it really snitching?
No. It's helping that nigga get some money, apparently.
Right. Is that's all you doing? Some more gay... I'm supposed to say that? No. Some more other roads will come open for
you. Yeah. Some other roads. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and move on from that Corey Holcomb topic. You brought up the colorist topic. So, what I wanted to discuss was Tracy Ellis Ross in the news. Tracy Ellis Ross was on.
She fine now. She fine.
Yeah, she
won't fuck with nobody like me.
She's a fine middle-aged woman.
Fine middle-aged feminist woman.
Tracy Ellis Ross was on Michelle Obama and her brother's podcast. What is the name of that podcast? IMO, in my opinion. And I haven't heard too much about the podcast itself.
I haven't either.
Yeah,
but I did know they had one.
Yeah,
so
with her brother, that's a really odd couple,
right?
Yeah. Why does her brother look like
He doesn't do it.
No, her brother look like
off. I already know you're going. He's off of motherfucking SpongeBob.
Well, damn, I wasn't going SpongeBob.
I was talking about the little nigga off of SpongeBob, the pink motherfucker.
SpongeBob is way too new school for me. I didn't watch SpongeBob.
I didn't either, but I recognize some of the characters.
I was gonna say her brother looks like the final boss on stage 1 of Double Dragon.
Bobo.
Yeah. That's what he kind of remind me of. But Tracy Ellis Ross was on Michelle Obama and her brother's podcast, in my opinion, and admitted that she expresses grief around being single and being child-free. I got that clip right here.
I mean, we've talked about this, that often I date younger men. And a lot of it is because...
Let's stop on that, folks.
Oh my God, we had a great dinner. We had a great dinner, by the way, where across the table, your husband goes, "But why?" And I said, "Well, maybe because I can."
Yes, Barish. This is what I'm saying. Tales from Tracy's.
It's fun. It's very fun to share.
Tracy tales.
But
I'm sorry.
But one of the reasons, though, that because I had to ask myself that question, I was like, "What is this about?"
Yeah.
Because I want a partner, and so often, and it's not just that I'm older. I'm also very embodied. I am a full, very whole person who knows myself, who is in charge of my life, and who lives a very full, just robust life. So it's not just age, it's like life experience and sort of a difference. But I had to ask myself the question, why? Why does this keep sort of coming up other than they're hot and gorgeous?
There's that.
There's that. But a lot of men my age are steeped in a toxic masculinity and have been raised in a culture where there is a particular way that a relationship looks. And anything that starts to smell of that for me, I did enough of it where I was controlled and felt like I was a possession or whatever those things were, or prize, and I have no interest in it, and I will not do it again.
Yeah, so that was Tracy Ellis Ross.
So what you heard right there was trauma.
Trauma?
She's experiencing trauma, and because of that, she embraced this feministic role. When women and when young boys, it's called the opiate complex. Sigmund Freud. Yeah. Anyway, he's a psychologist. Women learns how to take care of men through men, their fathers. Sons learn how to be a man through their moms. The opposite sex parents just supposed to fill in the negative or slightly averted opinion into a central normalcy. That's what it's supposed to happen. So she said something key there. She said, I was raised in the environment, meaning her dad taught her how this is how you supposed to hold yourself accountable. This is how you view yourself. And she didn't like that. Also, I would not be surprised dad laid hands on mom and stuff like that. So those traumas that she's experienced as a young adult, child / a young adult, push her view into wanting to be a feminist. Now, another key thing, what she was talking about, we did something with Trick Daddy last week. Yeah. He was talking about the same exact thing.
No, and look how over 35.
Right, and look how much clapback that he got from other women talking down to him because he stated his preference. And the difference is, and this is why I say, people, media, you have to pay attention to this shit. What's the difference from them two? He's a man, she's a woman. He's dark skinned, she's butter pecan. He seems like he has little to no education. She's very well spoken. She has education. Both of them rich. Both of them get money. Both of them famous. But you able to digest what she said versus what he said, and they talking about the same thing. Another thing what she said in that. She doesn't like the fact that she has to battle intuition when it comes to a masculine man.
Yeah.
You feel what I'm saying? She does that, triggers her. So it's easier to fuck with a YN because they bushy tail wide open. And remember, between 18 and 25, young adults tend to date older people because they get people like an image of like their moms and dads. You feel what I'm saying? Unless you are an extrovert in high school and college to where you have no problem dating within your age. 9 times out of 10, a lot of these young adults that's out here, they're not trained for adult life. So a young boy, young male tend to be with older women, and young women tend to be with older men. That's facts. But we had two famous people said the same exact thing, and she just embodying herself. She just know her wealth. It's all the excuse under the sun for what she said was good versus what Trick Daddy say.
Yeah. So I'm noticing a very hypocritical tone because the first lady was just like, "You go, girl."
Yeah. Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
High praise. Yeah. But let Trick Daddy say the same thing. You would have looked at him within disgust. Like, nigga, what the fuck you talking about?
Exactly. And I like how Tracy Ellis Ross called our former first black president your husband.
Yeah, she said that. She said that with disdain in her fucking voice and shit.
Yeah, your
husband. Like that shit triggers her. So like I said, she fuck with a young nigga, and I'm gonna tell you how she move.
Yeah.
She deals with him six months to a year. Now, and look, she does it because she's in control. She get the freak off on their ass, blow their fucking mind. Cause why? She's more experienced in bed than they are. Yeah. Also, she has money. She can experience. Now that's not saying she fuck with a broke nigga, but they don't have her money. You know what I'm saying? So she got generational money before she had money. You feel what I'm saying? So it's a different levels to that shit. So she fucks with him. Plus, it helps her keep her young and shit because it's a young person. Now, as soon as she blows their brain open and somebody said, I want to have a baby with you or I want to be in a relationship with you,
dead.
She dismissed their ass immediately.
Yeah, she 52. There ain't no babies coming out there.
No, they got in vitro or they get what they call it. They get them a surrogate. That's what they'll do. They'll take her egg.
She got an egg?
She probably got something frozen. I wouldn't be surprised she got something frozen. She gonna take her egg. She gonna whoever the other guy is, take his egg, put it in this damn woman. There it is. That's how it's gonna happen. So
yeah. So she said younger guys are less traditional, which is because a lot of younger guys don't know shit. Well, they don't come from traditional
homes. They most of them come from single parent homes. So there's nothing traditional about that. Mm-hmm. There's no two parent format into that. So that's what it is. But the thing about it is she comes from a traditional setting. It's a turn off for her. So you know what I'm saying? As soon as she come across a male that's intellectually strong-minded, willed it, like, you know, when you got two pit bulls in the cage, you know what I'm saying? I got my shit together. That's how it is. You feel what I'm saying? Only difference is it's a trigger for her because she's seen how her daddy treat her mama and shit, and she's like, I'm never gonna be like that.
Damn. So you think it's from trauma?
It's trauma.
I just think it's from narcissism.
Trauma turns into narcissism. Oh. Because trauma can cause you to be a certain way, and if you don't know how to get out of your own way, you feel what I'm saying? You stuck there, and especially when you're a person of influence, because who gonna rock that boat and tell you the realness what you need to real without worrying about them even being around? Mm-hmm. So it's gonna have to take somebody they don't got nothing to lose with her. Like, hey, you need to get that shit together. But she probably won't because she's 52. She's stuck in her ways. The question is, what happened with another 8 years when she hit 60, 65? You know what I'm saying? Ain't too many young niggas gonna want to fuck. Well, take it back. If she's in her 60s, then she can fuck with somebody in their mid 40s and early 50s. But it's always 5 to 10 years younger.
Because keep in mind, she's going to be in her 60s, hopefully.
8 more years.
Yeah, well, with some paper. So she can go young, too. She can get on her Bill Belichick. Pull a young tender.
But the thing about it is, the difference between Bill Belichick and her, he can put one of them in that young tender. She can't. And it ain't going to be too many young tenders you mess with that. They going to be like, hey, you got to pop one out. Something got to happen. So we got to do something. Or
maybe she's just comfortable being a plaything.
I mean,
for young dudes.
In her mind, she's not a plaything to them because again, she controls how long she deals with them. As soon as they send off red flags to her, like I'm in love with you, or I want to have a baby with you, I want to be in a relationship with you. If they say anything in those trigger words, she getting rid of their ass immediately. Mm-hmm. So it's a control thing. She's controlling the action.
Yeah. So Charles writes, it sounds like she wants to be the man and she wants a girlfriend with a penis, which could very well be true.
She do.
I dated a girl like that, and she told me she dated women, so she was bi, and she had a lot of masculine traits about her. Mm-hmm. So we couldn't last because it was just like
we ain't doing that.
Yeah,
you ain't got no dick, and you don't spew testosterone.
Exactly, and not to mention that I was making more money than her. I'm like, you must be used to dating bum niggas because you don't talk to a man making 6 figures like that. Yeah, so I had to flex.
So those are ones that look at your money as an option and not as a asset.
Yeah, that is true.
So the ones that look at yours as an asset usually get married.
Yeah.
See what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's the difference.
Yeah, but yeah, I definitely think she's not in the need of a traditional relationship.
She's
and once
not.
she used that term toxic masculinity.
Right.
And I was just like, oh, we already know what that's
look,
about.
this goes back to what my man was talking about a couple of weeks ago, talking about assault on masculinity.
Who said that?
Your boy from Captain America.
Oh, Anthony Mackie.
Right.
Yeah,
reason why because of women like her.
Yep, that is correct.
Because you got to tone your shit down to make it comfortable for them. Because if you don't, they can damn near say that's sexual harassment.
You are correct.
So that's the problem that you have. You have feminist women who's pushing the boundaries on that shit. Like you're giving off aggression as if you're a man, but you're not. You feel what I'm saying? So when a man that's actually a man meet that shit, you know what I'm saying, then you want to holler, oh, that's, you know what I'm saying? It's like you want to have it both ways and stuff like that. So it might, and like I said, in a sense, there's a few percentage of women that there are hardcore feminists, and that's the way it is, you know what I'm saying? And out of the majority.
You know, one thing that was also concerning me is the fact that there's so many middle-aged black women that are getting the spotlight for being single. You know, you got this Tracy Ellis Ross interview. You had Vivica Fox making the rounds for looking for a man and the BBL, and you have Tia Mowry making a whole damn second career out of divorcing her husband and screwing up her house.
The problem is they want to change the narrative on relationships because they seeing the YN females doing it. Where you got certain marriages, they got the hyphen in the last name. He got his name and you carrying her name at the same time. They seeing these.
That's a thing?
Yeah.
Oh,
you got.
So there's a dude walking around with his wife's last name.
Yes, he got his name and it's hyphen with her name. So when you see an older generation like them seeing that shit, they want that. They couldn't remember history. They couldn't do that shit because they got blackballed. They had to play that role to get where they at. Now the younger generation. This is why older generations envy younger generation because it's like we couldn't do that shit what y'all talking about. We wouldn't even be where we at if we had the nerve to even think or breathe like that. The fact that y'all have this space is because some of us had sacrificed ourselves for the better to where you can get this shit, to where you getting it instantly and shit like that. You feel what I'm saying? So when you see Vivica and Tracy and all of them talking, they are empowered by the younger women that's doing what they're doing because they want that, but they couldn't do that.
But do you think the young women are seeing these women and like trying to follow their blueprint?
Some are.
Because the one factor I think that's being left out the equation is the fact that Tia Mowry, Vivica Fox, and Tracy Ellis Ross have money. They got paper.
Yeah.
They're all in the top 1%?
Mm-hmm.
So
and also, a lot of black women is more highly educated and everything than black men.
Well, it's just a matter of money because they'll have money once they're in their elderly era, if assuming they don't run into a young nigga that's about their paper.
Right, exactly.
That's a danger once you hit them late 50s and 60s as a woman, and that's something women don't even think about. Young niggas be scamming.
They scamming. They get your
I
ass.
know young women do it, but you can catch on to it a little for some reason. I don't know why, but you know, as an older man, I guess you can catch on to it a little bit quicker.
Yeah, you can because it's like I said, if you've been there, done that.
There's no fail safe for a 52-year-old woman from getting hustled.
It ain't. It's for a man. You've been hustled before.
Yeah.
Like I said,
so you know all the tricks.
You already know.
She just emotional on some.
Right.
I found a handsome 29-year-old ass nigga.
30. So she 52. She is between 29 and 40.
Yeah, she found 30-year-old something nigga just hustled her out of funds.
And see, it takes a special breed to do that. He had to play that role.
Yeah.
But see, that takes somebody who's been in the game, meaning he has confidence and everything. Then you bag this older lady who got bread and shit. Yeah. Oh, I hit the jackpot. All I know is I got to play my role and beat her at her own game.
Oh, sounds.
So when she do some freaky shit, I do freaky shit times 2. and blow her mind out to where she start rethinking like, why am I feeling this type of way? This little young, this YN got me open. You feel what I'm saying? And sometimes she might have to get rid of a motherfucker like that based off of that. I had it happen to me before. You know what I'm saying? So, hey.
Cool. You have anything else to add?
I just, like I said, it's just a hypocrisy of the colorism, the gender, the education background, how one star, black man, say the same thing. He gets backlash. And here we are. We got another star, a black woman. She says the same thing and she's embraced. She's emboldened. She's uplifted for embracing her. And even in the process, she's dissing a masculine man. On top of that.
Yeah.
Like, what you doing? But what if he clapped back? Then you'd be like, oh, sexual harassment. Like, you can't sit here and get in the ring like you a badass, Billy Badass, when in actuality, you just a princess, a queen. Stay in your fucking place. That's the reason why there's man and woman. And that's the reason why woman came from the rib of the man. So, I mean, it is what it is. I'm sure if she had an opportunity to switch from a woman to a man wholeheartedly, she would do it in a heartbeat.
Yeah, I fully agree on that. Yeah, she needs to know the experience of being a nigga. Yeah, because it's not all fun and games. There's a lot of responsibility and being accountable. So a lot of women don't know what they're getting into. But let's go ahead and move off of that because I wanted to get into discussing Bobby Brown's appearance on Club Shay Shay. Bobby Brown made an appearance on Shannon Sharp's Club Shay Shay. Lots and lots of questions being asked, but one very big question was asked to Bobby Brown. Who is closer to MJ? Is it Usher or is it Chris Brown? And Bobby Brown gave a response. I got that video queued.
Who is the closest thing to Michael?
I would go with Chris Brown.
Really?
I would go with Chris Brown.
Because of the dancing and the singing aspect
Chris
of it?
Brown is a dancer, singer, slash great entertainer.
Right, okay.
He goes out there and he does the ultimate stuff on stage. And you just have to love it. Usher's also a great entertainer. But I got to go with Chris on being as close to Michael as anybody could ever get.
And it was great to see Breezy at the Grammy get to win that
finally
Grammy. To finally get his due. Long overdue, but hey, right on time.
Yes.
Usher said he looked up to you.
Yeah.
He said because you kind of related to you in the industry more than anyone else. When you hear one of this generation's great performers, one of the great R&B singers says that, Bobby was kind of the muse that I used to kind of develop what I did. How did that make you feel?
Makes me feel great because he's a great entertainer. I've known Usher since he was 12, 11, 12 years old. And just seeing his growth in the industry and seeing how well he holds himself up, how well he takes care of his business. I'm really proud of him.
Do you remember the first time? Did he come to your show? Was it an arranged meeting? Do you remember? You say you've known him since he was 12. How did that meeting happen?
I had a security guard who found Usher, and he brought him to the shows.
Okay.
He brought him to the studios. I had a studio in Atlanta, Georgia. And he just was always around.
Okay.
He brought him to be around me and to learn what this thing of ours is all about.
Right.
And that was Bobby Brown giving his opinion on who is closer to MJ, giving the nod to Chris Brown. I don't disagree. I
can have an argument for Usher.
What's the argument for Usher?
I mean, because Usher was before Chris Brown. Now, they offer. Now, I'm going to be the first to say I haven't really seen a Chris Brown show.
Oh man, you're missing out.
So
I mean, you ain't never seen him live, just on even on an award show or TV.
Yeah, I've seen him on that. Yeah. So what I'm saying is he's a hell of a talent. You feel what I'm saying? I ain't gonna front, but you can't skip past Usher and go to Chris Brown because before Chris Brown, it was Usher. Usher was that nigga. He still is that nigga. You know what I'm saying? Now, I don't take nothing away from Chris because, like I said, he got some bangers too. He got a hell of a catalog and shit like that. So, I guess where he going at is he can pull people from all across genre with his music. I think Usher can too, but does it resonate? Well, his older music resonate with younger people, but does Chris Brown music resonate with? Well, if you really look at it, both of them shit resonate with both younger and older. So you know what I'm saying? I just, like I said, only reason why I say he agree with Chris Brown because they have a similar image as far as the bad boy image coming up in the game. That's the reason why I feel like he gave him the edge.
Okay, well, Charles says Chris Brown doesn't have an album close to the level of Confessions.
I get it, and that's why I was thinking to myself, like, I don't recall a full album of Chris Brown have nothing from bangers from start to finish.
Yeah.
Confession does. You feel what I'm saying? So that's the reason why I was like, I don't agree with that. Usher is more transcending. You feel what I'm saying? And he has album classics. Chris Brown don't.
Yeah, that is true. I can't think of a classic Chris Brown album.
Right, he got hit songs.
Yeah, he got hits.
He got hella fire hits.
Days.
I can't take that from him, but when we talk about a whole album, now that takes Usher to another level.
Yeah.
And then look at it. How many? Bobby Brown only got one classic album.
Nah, Bobby Brown is nah.
Well, wait a minute. Well,
because you got to include the New Edition albums he was on.
No, I'm talking about him singular by himself. You can't take take him away from New Edition. All he had was
My Prerogative.
My Prerogative. That was it.
Didn't he have an album after that made some noise?
No, because we can't talk about it.
Yeah.
That's the thing. So he only had one classic album. Usher got more classic album than Bobby Brown. If you want to be real. Yeah.
Well, I guess if we're talking albums.
We just said he only got My Prerogative that we remember.
Yeah.
That's it. Usher got Confession
8087, whatever.
Right, yeah, exactly. So that's what I'm saying. Usher beats Bobby Brown.
Well, yeah.
He does. Bobby Brown got hits. He's another Chris Brown. You can't take nothing away from him. They have hits. But when it comes to catalog album wise, Usher beats both of them.
Yeah, Usher beats Bobby Brown and
Chris Brown.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
He does.
I mean, if we're talking the entire discography,
yes, he does.
Yeah, because Bobby's solo career was really only I think people really downplay Bobby Brown's career in the late 80s because that was the era when Michael Jackson was not as popping but was popping because that was the Bad era. And Bad is a great album, but it's nowhere near Thriller or Off the Wall.
He was popping. And
that's what I'm saying. That left the door open for Bobby to come in. And Bobby was that dude in 88.
Okay, but listen though. All right, so this is where the door is left open because people started. Mike music was trying to be boxed in as pop.
Yeah.
So and since Bobby was coming in the R&B side, there was like you was able to open the door and somebody was able to have room to come in. You feel what I'm saying? Because Mike was dominating on pop charts all day, even though he has R&B songs on his album and shit like that. But most of his hits are pop hits.
Yeah, you are correct. Wow. So, yeah, I would give the edge. I would say Usher.
That's Usher.
Usher, to me, makes better music, but I think Chris Brown is the better performer. I think Chris Brown has the edge on dancing, I should say.
Okay. What?
I think Chris Brown is a better dancer than Usher, and I'm not saying it's a blow. It's a major.
It's close.
No, it's very
You
close.
say it's close. Okay, all right.
But
I can go with that.
Yeah,
because I'm about to say Usher can dance now.
I never said he couldn't. This isn't to take any props away from Usher. To me, I just feel like Chris Brown is the better dancer. There's more energy Usher is real smooth with his movements, where Chris is more.
Remember, he's older now.
Yeah, well, no, I'm talking about even in his prime.
No, if you go back,
because Usher was real smooth with his moves, whereas Chris is just like energetic on some crumping shit.
Well, because that's his music is energetic music.
Yeah, but that's the type you can say, the music influences their dancing.
Right.
But.
So if Usher's just deliberately sudden delivery movements is based on the music, where Chris shit is like more up tempo, upbeat. You know what I'm saying? Like, so you gotta,
but I do think Usher makes the best music between the two, between him and Chris Brown.
He makes the best music.
Chris Brown be borderline rapping.
Yeah, he does. He want to touch the rapping R&B side. He wanted to bring in both.
Yeah,
but Usher beats him and Bobby Brown. Yeah. He beat both of them. I think
both of them beat Bobby Brown in terms of consistency.
Yeah, because he only had one.
Bobby was only hot for like 3-4 years.
Yeah, because he only had Prerogative, and then he got married with Whitney.
Yeah, and that's how he kept his name.
That's how he kept his name going.
And then rejoined New Edition.
Before rejoined New Edition.
Well, I mean, he married
the Coke scandal between him and Whitney and shit like that, the party, and then reuniting with New Edition.
Wait, he was with Whitney when he rejoined New Edition, right?
Yeah. He was still with her.
Yeah, so I mean, basically after his solo career, the one album,
The Scandals.
He kept his name in the news
because of it being him attached to Whitney.
Yeah, but I always give Bobby credit.
And Whitney was popping then because she did a Super Bowl. It's right before
she did
Bodyguard, all that shit. You feel what I'm saying? So
that was Whitney's prime.
That was Whitney's prime. So he was able to keep his name alive by being married to her.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, I wanted to move to the next topic, which was Jermaine Dupri. Jermaine Dupri was in the news. He was on the R&B podcast. Yes. Decided to... that was with Tank, right? The R&B podcast.
I think so.
Yeah, so he was discussing his career there with Tank and another individual. And he was discussing Escape. And he was saying a lot of the things about Escape that a lot of us dudes was thinking when Escape came out in the 90s. But he was saying Escape was pretty hard to promote for numerous reasons, and I had that video queued up.
But I thought, I didn't think that was gonna work at all. I'm writing all them songs.
Escape was gonna work?
Not big, because I'm writing the songs, and I know that I don't have no chops in R&B.
Right.
You know what I mean? I'm just praying.
But are you seeing the sparkle in people's eye?
No.
No.
Not at all. Escape was tough, man. It was a hard group because people didn't think they was cute. Biggie had made Dreams of RuPaul before I them ugly Escape. That was hard.
Right.
Right. I'm out here dealing with this, right? So I took a stand that was like, okay, y'all think they ugly? Cool. Find me somebody that can sing better than them. Right? I start acting like just going off of their talent, pure talent. But it was hard. It wasn't, In Vogue was out at the time, right? So Escape coming out when In Vogue is out, these little girls, they look like hood and this to the third. They don't, that ain't flying. And Escape is young, right? It's another thing. Escape is a young group. I'm making R&B music, and R&B radio told Columbia that the music sounded too young. So I'm almost in a space where it's like where I want the record to be, they're not even playing it.
Because I'm thinking of what those records sound like in relation to the other R&B at that time.
Yeah. It was real grown.
Wasn't singing, just kicking it.
Yeah. Hold on to your love. You got to hold on.
Right.
This what it sounded like. So adult radio, what they call adult radio now, is where I wanted Escape to live. I couldn't get them to live there for nothing. They told the PDs, the radio guys, these songs sound too young. They don't sound like our station.
And hold on, shit. And boom, that was JD explaining
I believe what he was saying.
No, I 100% believe it.
I believe what he's saying.
I was a teenager when Escape came out, and without any media influence or propaganda.
Again, colorism plays a point.
It wasn't colorism.
No. Let me tell you why. Because you had 3 dark skinned girls up there.
And Tiny.
She's light skinned.
But Tiny was the first light-skinned girl I saw being promoted that I didn't find attractive like
Of course, I got you. So as a whole, you're right. The whole group was not.
No, they was rough, bro.
Compared to SWV and Envo, it was night and day.
I remember that joke on Def Comedy Jam where somebody said SWV looks like Jodeci in drag.
Oh, man, I ain't gonna do it.
Yo, that was cold, but... Yo, the stuff he said about Escape is true because I remember saying it to my homies at the lunch table growing up in high school. Like, yo, them Escape chicks looking rough, bro. So they were never an attractive group. They were a group he had to promote their talent to. And he's right. Biggie put that out there. He was the one who... Biggie killed, like I said earlier, Biggie killed the Escape's career before it started and Kwame's career with his bars.
Did he really kill their career?
He didn't kill it, but he damn sure made it rough. He made that rough for those girls because they were up and coming. And they were only, 16, 17 at the time?
They was young.
Yeah, he was calling some 17-year-old chicks butt ugly. And he said he would rather have sex with a transgender woman than to have sex with underage minor women. And I don't know, do you commend Biggie in hindsight?
Man, that's tough either way, but God Almighty. Let's say I don't consent to either or.
I don't consent to either. Biggie made us give up. He
like
gave
you gotta
us a real hard
choose, nigga.
choice.
You gotta choose one or the other. I ain't choosing either or. I just use my hand.
Yeah. So Biggie did play a part in people's perception of Escape because, a lot of people said what Biggie said after he put that out there in Dreams. So that was it. Also, I wasn't the biggest fan of Escape growing up because of that. Because he's right.
I listened to their music. I had bought their album, so I ain't gonna stunt on that.
Nah, I don't. I remember they had that.
That was my senior year in high school when they came out.
They had the joint. I like that remake they did. Who Can I Run To? That was pretty dope. That was a song that made me really like Escape.
Just kicking.
Just
Kick
kicking
off
it
your
was
shoes and relax your feet.
But they had some stiff competition because they were promoting attractiveness with the girl groups back then, especially in Vogue. That's 4 fine women you got to compete with. SWV, to me, they weren't that great looking, but they weren't ugly or anything like that. You had TLC, 3 fine petite women.
You had what's
all
that?
of them were fine.
Yeah,
Jade,
704.
704. Like all of these women were attractive.
You had some tough competition, boy.
The solo artists were beautiful.
Word.
Yeah, so I mean, attractiveness was just part of being in 90s R&B, and Escape was just they were completely.
They wasn't grown into their woman bodies yet.
Yeah, because Candy did have a glow up.
Mm-hmm. All of them did. All of them, except for Tiny. She's the only one that still have it. You know, she still look like.
No. She's transitioning to Smokey Robinson.
Yeah, no. Smokey Robinson, nice. The rest of all of them pretty much grew into their women bodies. So,
okay, now Charles said Jermaine, we were gonna play when Jermaine Dupri snitched on Drew Hill not showing up to the studio when they recorded the "Sleeping in My Bed" remix. I saw that clip. I know exactly what you're talking about, Charles. Jermaine Dupri went through a story where he was discussing, I guess, some back and forth because Jagged Edge wanted the beat. I don't remember all the details of the story. I just thought the Escape one was a little bit more interesting to cover. But yeah, them girls really had it rough. They would have a better, more nurturing environment if they came out now. That's one of the things about the 90s.
I was telling the young gen, like,
the YNs.
Y'all wouldn't have made it. Y'all wouldn't have made it in our generation because you had to be tough, boy.
Yeah,
you had to know how to crack jokes.
Yeah,
you had to know how to fight. You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah,
because if not, you got your feelings hurt by young niggas as well as motherfucking women. So you got on both sides. And then
everybody roasted you.
And then
Women, men.
Right, don't be on the school bus and shit. You in the back. That's where the roasting going down at. So you know niggas who know how to roast and shit, they be in the back. The cool kids be in the back. If you ain't the cool kid, you up in the front in the middle of the bus. You didn't want no parts of that because you try to stay clear of them jokes that's coming.
Yeah. So yeah, shout out to Escape for braving, and I'm sure they have some mental anguish, maybe some PTSD.
They just transition to beautiful damn women. That's all. They look, Candy getting money. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, Candy getting that paper.
She getting bread.
Yeah, I ain't mad at that. All right, let's go ahead and move on to sports. First, I wanted to give a shout out because I saw this right before I was getting ready to come here to do the podcast. Shannon Sharp's upcoming podcast deal could be worth quadruple what he earned in the NFL. So, yeah, it looks like Shannon Sharp's Club Shay Shay podcast and also Nightcap and Jeff Teague's Club 520 podcast is making a deal with Colin Cowherd's The Volume Network, and he stands to get a deal worth upwards of $100 million, possibly.
Stephen A. money right there.
Yeah, so he's looking at some serious Stephen A. money, and he did it independently with
like,
these
look,
podcasts.
Stephen A. nigga, I can leave your show if I want to. I show up. Look, he gets so much money, he don't even show up at the show. Just take a video shot where the fuck I'm at in my house. I don't even got to show up to that bitch no more. Just take. I'm at home. Just take it. I'm gonna dress up nice, put some cologne on, dress up nice, and in the comfort of my home, y'all. Yeah, I don't even got to show up in the studio no more. See, Stephen A., you got the $100 million at the studio. I got the $100 million out the mud independently.
God. Yeah, this is a lesson, because Stephen A. got $100 million from a corporation and putting himself at the mercy of it, and Shannon Sharp got possibly $100 million doing it independently.
Well, both of them is corporations, so you can't.
Yeah. I mean, they're both corporate sponsors.
You can't escape that. But it's just the fact that he has more control over his
and he owns his stuff.
Exactly. So Stephen A., once your 5 years up or whenever they feel like they might eat that shit, they let your ass go. It's a wrap.
Yeah, but by then Stephen A. will be president, won't he?
Yeah, because you saw his ass on the news like he talking about, I've had my pastor said keep the damn possibilities open. You don't know what God has in for you. Stephen A., I would run as a what? Independent nigga? Shut up.
Yeah. So it looks like in Shannon's 15-year career, he made a little bit over $22 million total.
Of course, that's chump change compared with NFL players make now.
Yeah.
That $20 million is most of them signing bonus.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? And signing bonus of a second or third tier player. Let me say that. Because if you a top end player, your signing bonus is north of $50 million.
Yeah. So I just wanted to give a shout out to Shannon
Club Shay Shay.
And
Nightcap. Y'all come on and collab with us now. Share them coins with us.
Because this goes back to what Corey Holcomb said. You don't always have to bow down and do it the traditional way. You don't have to kiss people's ass. Sometimes you can set up your own shit. Stand your ground.
Think outside the box.
Fight for it.
Especially the one who made a comment on, let me see your degree.
Yeah.
Degrees is not always in paper. Yeah. And you got a lot of people who got degrees that still don't know their shit. So let me throw that out there.
Yeah, but shout out Shannon. So
Shannon,
come on, I wanted to do
collab with us, baby.
Yeah, we could be on Shay Shay Me.
Yeah, come on and collab with us, baby.
I don't think I've said anything. Well, I probably have said some shit about Shannon in our
I haven't
4-year history.
Come on, Shannon. Come on, team up with us.
Shannon sign Hassan, and I'll just be the sidekick on his shit.
Yeah, come on here.
Yeah. Okay. WNBA draft. What was that? Monday?
Yep.
Monday's draft.
You had
your girl Paige went first.
Number 1. You had a 6'6" lady out of France. She
number 2.
Number 2, 19 years old. And
Dominique Malonga.
And she can dunk with ease.
Yeah. I was seeing. That's who I'm excited about to see.
So I'm going to see who she going to be banging on.
I want to see her yoke on
Brittany Griner, everybody. Get out of here, nigga.
That's going to be interesting.
They said she could compare herself to Wemby.
Damn.
Yeah.
You comparing a woman to Wembenyama?
Yeah, Wembenyama.
Okay.
Then you had a couple of NC State players got drafted in the top 10. Couple of
yeah, it says the SEC led all conference with 10 players drafted. The Big Ten had 7, the ACC had 6, and the Big 12 had 5. Yeah, but your girl Sedona Prince wasn't selected, and they said it was because of her domestic
she had
issues.
a old sexual assault case.
Yo, SA in the building.
Like, damn.
And that's one of the things about being in the WNBA. They actually care about your character. Had she been in the NBA, she would probably be in there.
Still in there. But you know what the crazy part about it is?
Yeah.
Like, a lot of the top players could have came out, didn't come out because
that college money.
That NIL money is getting they only get like $75,000 their rookie year.
Yeah.
The NIL money, they getting like over $1 million. Like, why would I want to hurry up and come to the WNBA when I'm getting millions of dollars playing in college? You know what I'm saying? By the time I come to WNBA, I'm just living off my money that I made in college, pretty much.
Mm-hmm.
That money I'm making WNBA, that's my lifestyle that I'm probably paying for and shit like that. So they're waiting until that CBA deal that Reese was talking about that they change up. That's when they coming out. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and then after that, and then Juju, she be coming behind another year after that. Shit, you gonna find your first $1 million contract within another 3-4 years.
Damn, and Sedona Prince is 25. She's an old chick if she's coming in the league at that age. That's another reason.
Well,
why.
with COVID and stuff, a lot of players had your girl Van Ling Hoff, something. She came from Louisville, went to LSU, went to TCU. She went to 3. She had been in college for about like 6 years. Because a lot of them who got an extra eligibility with COVID and stuff like that, during COVID or medical injuries.
Mm-hmm. I'm eager to see Dominique Malonga.
Yeah, I'm gonna see if she gonna dunk on somebody.
Yeah,
they said she can dunk fluently.
Yeah, she's 6'6", 7'1" wingspan, huge hands, and she pulls up for threes effortlessly. And she's only 19. Seattle Storm, and they're in Seattle.
19
pro franchise.
19, and the Falcons, the new San Diego team, they made their first. Pick.
Who was it?
I forgot the name. They top 10. I was just naming the franchise because they a new franchise that just on the WNBA.
Where are they playing in? What city?
San Francisco. I think it's your girl from Kentucky. They had. Yeah, it's your girl from Kentucky. I think they had drafted. So
I'm not sure who that is.
I know a little bit about her. She was in the ACC. They played at Virginia Tech, and they left from the ACC, went follow her coach to Kentucky and stuff like that. The only reason why I remember her because Russell Westbrook designed her dress that she had on at the draft night. You know what I'm saying?
Russell Westbrook's designing dresses?
He's a designer. So he does that on the side. So he designed her outfit for the WNBA and stuff. And so that's and she got some hellified calves and shit. She's short too, like about 5'6", 5'7", something like that.
Oh.
Baller.
Cool. Well, I look forward to the WNBA season coming up, but I look much forward to when Juju's in the league next season. So,
she'll be a junior, so I don't think. She got 2 more seasons. So I think if they don't happen before Juju get in, Juju gonna be the first multi-million-dollar contract in the WNBA.
I believe that.
I'm putting it out there.
She's worth it. Okay, so looks like the shock of the night: Memphis beating Dallas in the play-in. 120-106. So it was a thorough ass whipping that was administered. Anthony Davis had 40 on 16 for 29 shooting. And it looks like PJ Washington and Lively didn't even score. 0 for 5 for PJ, and Lively 0 for 2. That's pretty bad. And I'm sure people want Nico's head, not that one. one.
Well, like I'm just again, what fans need to understand is he doesn't make that trade without ownership telling him to do so. He's just a fall guy because he's a GM. He makes a trade. They told him, do not make no trade with nobody else besides the Lakers. That's the reason why it didn't get out. That's the reason why him and Rob Pelinka, which he got a contract extension, tied himself with Luka and JJ and stuff. And he got operation. He got 2 titles, GM and basketball operations as well. So he's only a few GMs in the league that has both titles. So this whole targeting Nico Harris is really unfair. I understand that you're mad. You feel what I'm saying? Because
somebody has to be blamed.
But he's not it. He doesn't own the team, people. That's what y'all need to understand. Sure, he pulled the trigger. Sure, his face is in his handprint on it, but it's not his team. When you understand that, you don't make an organizational trade like that without his bosses telling him to do so.
I agree.
So let's keep that understand. You give him the blame, but you need to point at them damn owners. They told his black ass trade his white ass to motherfucking LA. All right? Okay. That's all I gotta say about that. But I'm proud. I'm glad he in LA now. I ain't mad at that. I just want to be fair about the situation. Nico did not make that trade without ownership telling him to do so.
And to follow up, looks like the Heat beat the Hawks in overtime.
Yep, sure
123-114.
So
your boy Hero got 30. And Wiggins, I completely forgot Wiggins was
traded there.
Yeah,
because he been hurt.
Just drew a blank.
Yeah, because he been hurt. So that's the reason why you haven't seen him. He been.
That's
hurt.
what it is. Okay, because I'm like, why didn't I think about it? All I kept thinking about from the trade was Jimmy.
Yeah, because he was hurt. That's the reason why.
Makes sense.
So now they gonna play Cleveland, which I believe Cleveland gonna sweep their ass.
You think they're gonna sweep them?
I wouldn't be surprised.
I think if you got Wiggins, Hero, and Adebayo,
you should win. You should win 1 or 2.
1 or 2. Yeah, it's not gonna be a sweep.
Right. It should be 4-2. I wouldn't be surprised if it's a sweep though. But
yeah, I wouldn't either.
So other than that, they play them. Memphis play OKC, which that can be interesting because when Memphis early in the season they were playing. They was top 3 in the damn league. Mm-hmm. They was playing everybody tough, so they got some young boys down there too. You feel what I'm saying? So that's going to be a very interesting series. Now, yes. I still believe OKC will win because they have more. They're more deeper and they have more players. So I believe that series will go 4-2.
Okay, so yeah, in the West we have number 4 Denver against number 5 Clippers.
I believe the Clippers gonna win that series.
You do?
Hell yeah. Yes, Clippers. Yeah, if Kawhi doesn't get phantomly hurt or nothing like that, they can beat Denver.
Well, who else? Oh yeah,
so you got Harden and Zubac. You got
so.
Harden, you got Zubac, and you got Noam Powell, which he should have been an All-Star. Remember, we talked about that. He should have been an All-Star, and LeBron took his spot.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm gonna see. Yeah, I think Denver got it. You got the best player in the league.
Yeah, but you fire your coach.
Yeah, well, that is true. I completely
fire your coach and GM.
Yeah, completely forgot about that.
And we just shed light on how the riff on how Westbrook was being treated. You know what I'm saying? So, and you notice the last few games they played before the regular season end, they were playing a bunch of young guys. Guys, I didn't even know they was on their damn team.
Yeah.
So,
that's going to be. So Lakers and Minnesota. Of course, I have the Lakers. I still don't think Minnesota. I think Minnesota's possibly going to get swept. Well, no. I'm not giving Anthony Edwards his due. They're going to get a game. Lakers in 5.
Of course.
Yeah, so Houston, Golden State. I have not been watching the Rockets play this year, and that's on me because I know they're killing shit.
Udoka, he's doing his thing. You know what I'm saying? I for him to go through the situation he experienced at Boston, he pretty much built the championship squad and wasn't able to see it through. And going to Houston, and now Houston is top 2 seed in the West, where they got a young squad. Azir Thompson, I think I'm saying his name. Like, he Thompson twin. You need to watch out for him. He's a beast. He's gonna be on Steph Curry ass in that series. I believe Golden State have a chance to win.
Yeah, because Houston's young.
Outside of being young, battle tested. I mean, you got playoff Buck. You got playoff Jimmy. Anytime somebody got playoff Jimmy on their team, you should never say never. This man took a whole team by himself to the damn finals. You feel what I'm saying? When he was in Miami the first year here, he was in. No, was it the first year? Yeah, it was the bubble. Because they played the Lakers, lost the Lakers in the finals. Yeah. He took that whole team on his back. You feel what I'm saying? So anytime you got playoff Jimmy on your team, I like the championship DNA of Green and Chef Curry and stuff like that. Yeah. And you got a couple other people that's up there that won championships on the team. So I like the experience. I like Golden State going in and beating Houston.
Golden State beating Houston.
Beating them in 6.
Yeah, I could see them getting a couple games. Okay, so on the East, we already discussed Cleveland, Miami.
Yeah.
Number 4 Indiana against number 5 Milwaukee.
Milwaukee
Dame is back.
He gonna miss the first game. I think Milwaukee should win.
Yeah,
I think they should win. Now, for whatever reason, if Milwaukee loses, if they don't get, Milwaukee doesn't get, and this is my opinion, if they don't get to Western Conference Finals, they're gonna trade. They're gonna trade Giannis.
Yeah, because Giannis already did everything he can do in Milwaukee.
Yeah, he done maxed out.
Yeah,
he can't get that. He can't get that upper tier $300, $400, $500 million contract in a small market team.
Now this one I'm interested in is number 3 New York against number 6 Detroit.
I like Detroit.
I keep hearing Cade
Cunningham.
Yeah, I keep hearing.
And the Ulster twin on that squad.
Yeah.
And Bernie Bickerstaff, for him to get fired from Cleveland, go into Detroit and have a major turnaround like they did in his first year there, tremendous. He should be coach of the year. Him and JJ, I don't care which way. They can go 1 and 2 in either way. I don't have a problem with them winning.
I think it should be Detroit.
Yeah, of course you would go to. I would say
no. It's because JJ just got like the best player in the league. Of course they're gonna be.
Yeah,
good.
But it's still when you have to manage those personalities, it's a next level type shit. You have to be a special type coach because we do know in the NBA, as a players leave, if a player wants your ass gone, you gone.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying. So to manage personalities.
I'm saying I give the edge to Burns.
I mean, I get what you're saying because
he did more with less.
Did he?
Yes,
he got top tier players. I think he.
What were they last year though?
No, they was the worst.
Exactly,
team.
That's what I'm saying.
But he took the same players, probably added Thompson twin on it this year, same team pretty much, and turned it around. Yeah. I just think it was a different coaching philosophy.
If Detroit didn't make the playoffs, nobody would bat an eye. If the Lakers didn't make the playoffs, they'd be calling for JJ's head.
That's true. That's the reason why he definitely should be in the running for Coach of the Year. And he won 50 games.
But he got LeBron and Luka.
Yeah, but you got a declining, quote unquote, LeBron. I'm not gonna disrespect my man AR. AR is a beast. He's that third tier, that 3-man headed monster that we got on the Lakers. And like I said, if each one of them guys give me 20 points apiece, we're not losing. The only reason where we have issue with is down in the paint. But when we play small ball, we're one of the top defensive teams in the league. You know what I'm saying? So again, I have no problem with Bickerstaff winning because, like I said, last year they had the worst team, worst record in the NBA, laughing stock of the NBA, and for you to come in one season in and turn around their playoffs, yes, and they have a winning record against the Knicks. Now, granted, we know that's the regular season. Regular season, it's totally different. When you get locked in a series, then we have keys and stuff and certain setups that's going to be done. So I think Detroit. I think that goes to 7 games.
7. We'll see. I want to know what Boston number 2 and Orlando is going to do.
Boston going to win.
Yeah,
Orlando,
I think that's going to be a sweep.
I don't think it's going to be a sweep because Paulo Bencaro and France down there, the big German down there, they be them front court be down there beasting. They just had injuries that did them in this year, so that's the only thing.
Okay. Charles says you think J.B. Bickerstaff should be coach of the year over Kenny Atkinson.
Yeah, because if you're going to tell me that J.J. shouldn't get it because he got LeBron and Luka and AR and shit, then look what Kenny Atkinson walked in. He got a perennial, he got all-stars all across the board and a young Bucks. He came to an already made team.
So he didn't have to do much coaching.
Remember, Bickerstaff left Cleveland to go to Detroit. So, I guess again, coaching for what it was, they had to get rid of Bickerstaff to sign your boy in Cleveland to the max deal because he was a free agent when Bickerstaff was there, and they was clashing based off of philosophy. What's your man in point from Cleveland? What's my man name? Spider-Man. Donovan Mitchell. Yeah. He was a free agent, and for Cleveland to sign him again, they had to fire Bickerstaff.
Oh, so yeah, that's cold-blooded. So he made it work. So I'm excited about the NBA playoffs. Round 1 starts tomorrow. Like I said, I want to see that New York-Boston round 1.
The Lakers in Minnesota, baby.
I'm not as eager to see that just because I don't think it's going to be much of a matchup.
It will because, like I said, Ant-Man, he a beast, man. That young cat, he ain't going to play. And Julius Randle, he has embraced his role of being a playmaker and stuff like that. So
you should.
He had no choice because it's like his last stop. You know what I'm saying? So I think they win 2 games. I think it'd be 4-2 Lakers.
4-2. So you think? Yeah. Well,
we got the best home record in the league.
I also think Ant-Man is going to steal a game.
Yeah, he's going to steal a game.
Yeah. Cool. Well, wanted to mention Greg Popovich.
Yeah, man.
Greg Popovich is retiring from the NBA. It has been rumored that he suffered a second stroke on Tuesday at a San Antonio steakhouse. So I guess because of this, he's decided to retire from coaching, which I definitely agree he should. He should retire if he's experiencing strokes. I'm pretty sure basketball is his life, which is why he wants to continue doing it. But unfortunately, he can't at the moment anymore. So, yeah, it's really sad to see him leave because I'm sure he's not leaving on his own terms, but I definitely understand why he has to do it. Yeah, so he suffered a mild stroke in November of last year, which led to a leave of absence. And I guess with the second one, yeah, that's pretty much a wrap on the coaching career. But shout out to Pop because he made San Antonio what it is. He did his part to get David Robinson a championship twice.
Mm-hmm.
So I know Tim Duncan has something to do with that. And Wemby's probably going to miss out on a lot of his coaching and his excellence. But shout out to Pop for doing his thing. And he did speak up on black issues. So
he spoke on issues.
Yeah, so,
issues.
Shout out to Pop. But wanted to get into football.
Football draft next week, baby.
Yeah, the draft is next week, but I wanted to talk about what Colorado is doing.
I have no problem with what they did.
So Colorado is retiring Travis Hunter and Shedeur Sanders jerseys. People are upset just for the fact that no other Colorado legends have been honored beforehand.
Whose fault is that?
The school's fault.
The coaches that was there coaching, that was their fault. But guess what? It was another reason why you didn't do it because you had poor attendance. Why would I want my jersey to be retired when the school is considering a downhill? When was Colorado even relevant? Cordell Stewart. Him and Salim run the ball. That was what?
Isn't that didn't Rocket Ishmael?
No, Rocket Ishmael was Irish.
Oh, okay.
So that was in the 90s.
Yeah.
What, late 90s?
Yeah.
Late 90s when he won the Heisman. So they has not been relevant in over 2 decades minimum. So if I'm Cordell Stewart, do I want my jersey retired when it's a half empty goddamn stadium? No. And then on top of that, if you don't ingratiate yourself with the program, you know what I'm saying, show up and make, you know what I'm saying, hey, you can talk, hey, yo, coach, what's up, coach? Coach Prime about, retire my jersey, drop a $500,000 to $1 million on the damn school and shit, to their endowment for NIL. All that shit, because that's a new trend now. So all the schools, especially the small schools, if they just so happen to have a superstar get to the league, whether it's NBA, NFL, or hockey, they come back to they take the title of assistant GM or assistant athletic director of the school and shit. Pretty much they donate some money and they bring in other boosters. They bring in their rich friends to come in and donate money to the school. That's all. So ingratiate yourself with the current Colorado team, and then Prime can probably hey, we can come out next year and shit and retire your jersey. But I had no problem with it. They made the school relevant. They came in and did a quick-ass turnaround that nobody haven't done in over 2 decades to make the school relevant. Their school is making money, all ends of the board. Everybody's winning. So since these young men came in with Coach Prime to help the school transcend to where they at, I have no problem with it. And one of them is a Heisman Trophy winner. So definitely let them get it. And they both going to be top 10 players. Why would you want the top 10 players jersey retired? Because that means when they get that check and they sign that name on it, guess who they going to drop $1 million back at? Oh, Colorado. That's one of your goddamn boosters. Hello? Got no problem with it.
So you're saying this is in part due to the alumni not paying their dues to Colorado and coming back to the program?
Outside of that, they wasn't relevant. So now you giving alumni a reason to bring their ass back and open up their damn pocketbooks and donate money so we can bring in top tier players. Because as we see across the league in college, if you are a 4-star player, you got motherfuckers like a wide receiver want to go to Syracuse. He asking for $2 million. The coach said, hell no, I ain't giving you no $2 million. Wish that was asinine for what he's saying, because if you want to win, goddamn, you gonna have to probably pay that $2 million for that 4-star receiver. Or we go that 4-star quarterback out of Tennessee. He wanted to renegotiate his contract and get $4 million. Now he done lost on that shit because he going back home on the West Coast where he from, the UCLA, and I'm sure he gonna take a pay cut from where he was getting at Tennessee. So it's a big we ain't gonna talk about how Carolina went to South Alabama, done got them a damn quarterback. What, 3 years, 4 year, $4 million and shit like that.
Yeah.
So these kids are getting money. There's no regulations on this shit. So if their name, image, and likeness and their playing skills transcends them to go to this program to get them in the top 15 in the polls and a possible chance of getting that bowl, because now if you get in the playoffs, especially if they're thinking about expanding the playoffs again too, if you get in the playoffs, that's more money that you are getting. And depending on how many teams in certain conferences get up in there, like last year, you might well say that was SEC goddamn playoffs. How many teams they got up in there? You feel what I'm saying? So the conference as a whole getting lots of money. So, I mean, you just go ahead and knuckle down.
Mm-hmm. Charles said this might be something to incentivize new players to come to the school, because this shows how quickly they appreciate their players.
Yeah, they appreciated players and what they brought to the table. They came in, they won. They had 2 winning seasons. No, they had one since they've been there. They had a winning season, almost was in the bowl game. They was in the bowl game, almost was in the playoffs and everything. And you got a Heisman Trophy winner out of that. You know what I'm saying? So you brought eyes to the school again. You know what I'm saying? In a damn conference that's like on the fringe.
Mm-hmm. Now Deion did respond to this, and he did say, "We're talking about Shador. We ain't talking about nobody else." He said, "If his last name wasn't Sanders, we wouldn't be having this discussion." So
he trying to say that y'all just trying to say it's nepotism. That's the reason why he getting retired.
Which is true.
Well, I don't think. Again, I mean, we could all automatically say it's nepotism because it's his dad, but his playing on the field earned it. Again, he could have told his dad like that, "I'm staying in Jackson State. I ain't coming."
Mm-hmm.
But he decided to come with his dad to help him build the program to where it's at right now. Mm-hmm. So he made major sacrifices to help the school. Mm-hmm. Now, what if they didn't have the winning season that they have? We ain't talking about this.
Okay, well, Red Phoenix, shout out to you. Make sure you like, subscribe, and share.
Share.
We see you coming in from Twitch. But Red Phoenix wants to know, would you say it's better for someone who is a great player to go somewhere where they can stand out more or play for a D1 where it's harder to stand out?
You want to go to where it's harder to stand out because you playing top-tier competition. So this is what you got to understand. So Pop Warner, you got a whole big-ass pool of players that's out there playing. Then when you get to high school, it starts shrinking. Once you get to college, it starts shrinking. Once you get to the NFL, it's only 2,500 active players. Let that hang out. So that means you want them to battle top-end competition so when they'll know how to react under pressure when they get to the pro level. Now, they always down in low-tier competition, they're shining and stuff like that. So that means they most likely won't experience any type of ups and downs to where they might have a bad injury that's not allowing them to run fast, or they come up against somebody that's actually just as good as them. They shut them down, and they got in his head mentally by talking shit to him. You want to see what your player that your team might draft in the next level, see what type of competition they've been up against.
Mm-hmm. Cool. I'm interested in the NFL draft. It's next week, isn't it?
Yep, next week.
Okay.
Less than 9 days,
releasing
baby.
new mock drafts, and they got your boy Cam Ward as the consensus number one
baby.
pick.
Listen, I've been telling this shit from the beginning. I said Cam Ward number one, baby. Now, after that, it's a toss-up. You know, me personally,
they say Travis Hunter number 2 to Cleveland.
You're right. They say it, but you know what? For some reason, I believe Cleveland gonna get Abdul Carter because one, you be one of the few teams who have two premier pass rushers. One in the back end of his career, another one rookie on a rookie deal. You just gave one of them he got the second highest non-paid quarterback contract in the league now. Mm-hmm. So now you got a rookie to pin in. Yeah, I think they'll go with Abdul Carter, and the Giants are going to take Travis Hunter.
Okay, because, in the mock draft, they say Shador is going to the Giants. Do you think that makes sense? Shador quarterbacking at the Giants?
Well,
didn't they just sign somebody?
Yeah, they signed Jameis Winston, and they signed what's the name that was at the Pittsburgh last year? Russell Wilson. So they got Russell Wilson, and then on top of that, the reason why I don't see them picking him because the board, him and the GM, they're fighting for their jobs.
Mm-hmm.
So you're not going to take a chance on a rookie quarterback when you're fighting for you literally have to have a winning season to be coaching again. And you sign not one but two veteran quarterbacks automatically. So I think they're going to go for they just blowing smoke up people's asses because they want somebody to come up and jump ahead and draft him. Because they want 2 first-round draft picks. Right now, Shador is worth 2 first-round draft picks and a couple of second rounds. He worth probably like 5 draft picks. Mm-hmm. If Bryce Young got damn near that trade with Chicago, now it's not number 1, so let me say that. it's a number 3 pick. But I think that number 3 pick is worth 2 first round and a couple of second round and later pick. But I don't think Giants going to. I think either if the Saints don't draft them, somebody's going to trade up and jump ahead of the Saints, which I wouldn't be surprised if Pittsburgh do it, because if you saw the McAfee show about Aaron Rodgers on what he was talking about, he is like, he's still thinking, he's still hung up on how the way he was handled in New York.
Yeah, he don't like that.
He don't like that because he was like, yo, he flew all the way cross country, and it's like Aaron Glenn basically is like, while he talking to the GM, he like basically Aaron Glenn like, hey, yo, you gonna play football? And when he answered the question, I don't know, he's like, okay, well, we're gonna tell you this, we're gonna go into another direction. We're just gonna tell you that we're gonna go in another direction. He like, okay, that's like, well, I ain't had no problem with that. He thinking like, you could have told me over the phone. I ain't had to fly all the way from Cali to damn New York just for you to tell me that shit. You feel what I'm saying? So he still hung up on that. He still pissed off by being disrespectful, being disrespected like that. So if I'm the Steelers, I'm moving on. Because we saw what happened when he wasn't in OTAs with the Jets. You feel what I'm saying? He coming into a new team. He got 2 prima donna damn receivers. You feel what I'm saying? That he got to get. You need OTAs to get into that. I think that he's bypassing that. He's still believing that he can play off his ability, which if we look at the past couple of years, it's transcending in the wrong direction. You feel what I'm saying? So, and on top of that, the Steelers doesn't have a solid offensive line. So it ain't like you're a nimble ass motherfucker that can run around. You should, at least the quarterbacks they had last year, they can run from damn pressure and shit like that. Aaron Rodgers is not. So me personally, I think that they're gonna trade up and go get a quarterback. And if I'm not mistaken, they're gonna trade up and get Shador.
Well, we will see. The NFL draft is next week. Do you know the exact day?
It's usually Thursday on Friday.
Okay.
It's a 2-day. We can look right quick.
Yeah, I like to make sure my information is accurate. So let's see the NFL draft. Okay, so yeah, it is Thursday, April 24th at 8 p.m. Eastern. So yeah, this Thursday coming up, I'm gonna be watching. I'm just watching like the first 5 picks. After that, I'm playing 2K.
No, I gotta watch the first. I gotta watch my Cowboys in later rounds. So I'm gonna watch the first round.
Our squad, the Commanders, is already set.
Y'all got the last pick.
Yeah, so we ain't drafting nobody worthwhile.
A first round draft pick is still a first round draft pick.
That is true.
You still can find.
We need a punter. No,
don't do that.
I don't even know our.
Yeah, I'm not even wasting a first round draft pick on a damn punter.
I know.
You better get you a gem, a hidden gem that can be like a transcendent. Y'all need defensive tackle.
Yeah,
y'all need.
We need a few
linebacker.
things.
You know what I'm saying? So
yeah,
you need a skilled wide receiver and stuff like that. So y'all need some holes.
Cool. You got anything else to add?
Oh man, I did have a baseball top 10. You know what I'm saying? Because you know, I'm a Dodgers fan. You know what I'm saying? Gotta give a shout out to the Dodgers. They doing their thing. So we're gonna break down the latest poll, the top 10, how they got them ranked. Excuse me, right quick, people.
Go for it. And while you look, shout out to Charlie Ward.
He got a coaching position down there in what's it?
A&M.
Yeah, Florida A&M.
Yeah.
I you know what? It's cool seeing players coming back and they coaching and stuff, because it means the love of the game it hasn't gone away for them. You know what I'm saying?
It just means they get their jersey retired, unlike Colorado ass players.
Yeah, stop playing, yo.
Yeah, so if he's gonna be a FAMU as their basketball coach, the Rattlers, that's dope. And he's 54.
Yeah, I did have it, but we're gonna move on.
Okay. Well, I mean, that's all the topics I got.
Yeah.
We did a clean 2 hours and 24 minutes.
Nice.
Awesome. Everybody who's still watching, make sure you hit the like button. Make sure you comment. Make sure you share. Sharing is the most important
Sharing
part.
is
People
caring.
sharing get us more subscribers and more views.
People.
So that's what we're aiming for.
Hey man, we want this thing to be by the summertime. We want this thing run up to where we start doing things for the viewers and stuff like that. We want that chat line running up, you know what I'm saying? So,
Yeah, we see, I tell people all the time, we invest money into our podcast. So the more views and subscribers and the more currency generated, we're putting that right back in. We'll get phone lines popping and all that
and then,
stuff.
like I said, we do contests and stuff like that.
Yeah.
We are partnership with various people that,
Yeah, we got some businesses.
Come get these dogs, man. Alpha
locally
dogs.
in Carolina that would do business with us for gifts and giveaways.
Yeah.
But
So we want this thing to grow, and it takes the YouTube community to make that happen.
Grow that shit.
Yeah. So like I said, if we got topics that you want us to talk about, feel free. Let us know. We'll look that shit up.
Hey,
and we can
Charles asked, is Charlie Ward coaching football or basketball?
Basketball.
Oh, yeah, it's basketball.
It's basketball.
No, it's just funny because I had to think about it for a second. Like, wait.
Yeah, he did play both.
Yeah, he played
He
both.
did play both. You had to think about it, but I believe it's basketball.
Oh, Buddha's watching. He said, great show.
Word, appreciate that.
Yeah.
But like I said, though, we need all the fan base out there. Like, share, and subscribe. We're going to gold this year. We want it by the end of this year. We want to hit about 10,000 or better. We need y'all to hit that. You know what I'm saying? So we see y'all next week. Peace.
Peace.